Hey guys, this is Sarah. So I tried to do a video last night. I made 3 attempts and just was not liking what was going on with the video, so I gave up and went to bed. Now I went to go do the video again and I noticed, I just wanted to point this out before I get into what I actually wanted to make the video about. This is where I left my computer. The page has not been refreshed or anything, so it's still exactly how it was when I left it. Now, if I scroll up to the top here, you can see it says Orlando shooting 50 killed, shooter pledged ISIS allegiance. And this is updated 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, June 12th. Now, I had done a search and just looking for new information that had come up since that was on last night. And you go to the exact same page, and they have now changed it to 49 killed and updated 11:05 a.m. Monday, June 13th. So of course they always change the numbers, and here it is now. It's gone from 50 to 49 killed. And then I also noticed the FBI director highly confident that Orlando shooter was radicalized, at least in part, from the internet. So I have to check that out. But you know, they're always going to push the internet. You know, I was watching Let It Rip last night on Fox News, seeing what they were talking about, and one of the things that one of them had been talking about was people sitting in their basement getting radicalized on the internet. And sure enough, now we're hearing about him being radicalized on the internet. And they weren't talking about that on Let It Rip having anything to do with him. They were just saying that was something that they worry about, was people sitting in their basement getting radicalized on the internet. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, let's go back to this video so I can show you the propaganda in this video. Get it to play right. I've been having some issues with the playback on their videos, but no, the first part is, a lot of you have probably seen this, and you know, you see absolutely nothing. This is the video he supposedly recorded of the shootout, but you see absolutely nothing. You can hear some yelling and what is supposed to be gunshots, but to me sounds like firecrackers, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and play it here.
Okay, David Ward joins us now. So this all happened just shortly at the...
Okay, first thing I noticed was right there before the video switches over to the interview. You hear David Ward say something about right after the detonation, kind of like he's discussing what he's going to say with the reporter. It could be absolutely nothing. I just found it interesting that you hear him say that. I don't know if could he possibly be discussing his script with the reporter? Sure, that's, I think, a possibility. But let me go back so you can hear what he says right there. It happens kind of quick, so I went back to the right spot here.
Okay, David Ward.
Yeah, you hear him say after the detonation, and then right after he says that, the reporter starts talking, and he just kind of shuts up. You know, like that was his cue. Like, oh, okay, I shouldn't be talking. I just found that interesting. But anyway, we're gonna go on to what he says in this video, in the propaganda that he is pushing, that other people have been pushing quite a bit lately, but. I get to play again here. Come on. Oh, there we go.
Joins us now. So this all happened just shortly at when the club was closing, close to 2 a.m. But then what you captured was, because there was a hostage, there was a standoff for a while. He was in there for a while. You captured the police going in and then taking him down, correct?
Right. It was about 5:08 after the detonation. Shortly after the detonation, I stepped out on the balcony. I heard a lot of commands from I guess the SWAT units that were staging in that area.
And what detonation is he even talking about? And that's what you heard him talking about before the video switched over. You hear him saying that part of it to the reporter, and then he got cut off when the reporter started talking. But what was detonated? What detonation is he referring to? I just found that odd because I don't know what he's talking about, what detonation he's referring to. But anyway.
Across the street from Pulse, which is directly below me. At that point, I heard go, 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 and then what you heard there, which was a volley for about 10, 12 seconds of hundreds of rounds. I think they were breaching in where the machine rammed through the backside of the building, and then I think that's where they went in from.
How long have you been standing out there? Do you live there, or were you just happen to be
on the corner unit right across the street?
Okay, so you live there. So did you hear the original commotion?
I did. I was asleep. I heard 2 shots. I thought originally were a backfire from a car or something.
Now, that was the other thing I found interesting. Whenever these events take place, you always have the witnesses claiming that they heard the gunshots, and they either thought that the gunshots were backfire from a car or fireworks. In this case, he claims he heard 2 gunshots and thought they were backfire from a car. But at any rate, he was supposedly sleeping and got up and went outside because he heard these 2 noises that he thought were backfire from a car, but he went outside anyway. Let's keep going.
Usually a lot of commotion anyways every night there. I stepped outside and saw some people, initial people fleeing out. So I stepped further down, and then that's when I heard the volley of shots coming from the inside, probably 50, 60 rounds. It was definitely automatic fire. At that moment, I had my 2 daughters.
Okay, so this is the propaganda that I'm talking about. Now, first of all, he says he heard 50, 60 rounds fired. And then he claims it was definitely from an automatic weapon, which we know is not possible. He purchased these weapons legally. You cannot go into a gun store or anywhere and purchase an automatic AR-15. So he had a semi-automatic AR-15. And then he claims that he heard 50, 60 rounds. So now, if anyone wants to do the math, you've got 50 to 60 rounds fired. You've got, well, it was 50 people killed. Now they're saying 49 people killed and 53 other people injured. That's, I don't know anyone that can shoot that well. Anyone. That's a pretty high hit rate for firing 50 to 60 rounds to kill, well, 49 or 50 people and injure an additional 53 people. Now, I had seen a video yesterday of one of the press conferences, and the guy had come out, and I cannot for the life of me find this video again, but he stated that all of the injuries were from the gunfire, from gunshots. And I found that odd because there's just no way. If you're in a nightclub, gunshots start getting fired, people are going to start running, they're going to be panicking, you're going to have people that are going to get trampled, they're going to be injured that way. And other witnesses, I've heard other witnesses state that very fact, that people were getting trampled. So you would have injuries from that. But this guy had stated that all of the injuries were from the gunshots, but I can't find that video again. So if anyone happens to find it or have it, that would be awesome. But again, I can't find it. I'm gonna just finish letting this play. There's one other thing that he says that's interesting here.
In the home with me, so I rushed back in. Before doing that, I noticed that people were running away. They're running through my yard, but then a number of them seemed to run back once they realized their friends or people they had come with were not with them. They started running back, shouting for their names and so forth. At that point, I got inside to make sure my daughters were.
Did you hear in?
So it's kind of like he forgot what he was supposed to say right there, because he said, I rushed back in, and then he said, oh, but before that, I saw people running. They were running through my yard, and then they realized people weren't with them, and then they started running back. So I'll let you listen to that again real quick, but I found that interesting. It was like he kind of forgot something that he was supposed to say there.
Doing that, I noticed that people were running away. They're running through my yard.
Sorry.
50, 60 rounds. It was definitely automatic fire. At that moment, I had my 2 daughters, in the home with me, so I rushed back in. Before doing that, I noticed that people were running away. They're running through my yard, but then a number of them seemed to run back once they realized their friends or people they had come with were not with them. They started running back, shouting for their names and so forth. At that point, I got inside to make sure my daughters were there.
Did you hear any of the negotiations between?
No.
Okay, so I found a few things that were said interesting, and it just seemed odd. It seemed scripted to me. The whole thing, he kind of seemed like he forgot some of his lines there, or something he was supposed to say, and then had to backtrack and say it. And he said it was definitely automatic gunfire. So he's like said that with absolute certainty, which we know that's not possible. We know that's not the case. We know that it wasn't automatic gunfire. And then he claims it was only 50 to 60 rounds that were fired. And this was a short period of time. And now, the shooting supposedly took place at 2 o'clock in the morning, right at the club was supposedly closing. There was supposedly over 300 people in this club. I still haven't seen any footage of people running out, fleeing the building, really. But I think I could be missing a lot of things, but it just seems like there's a lot of video footage that should be out and isn't out. And then the other thing I want to point out here, there's a channel, Sheila Aliens, who put out a video. I will put the link to her video in the description for this video, but she points out that she has a membership here to Broadcastify, where you can listen to the police audio, and she points out that the audio is missing from 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. There's no police audio. So what I'm confused about is he says that the SWAT team went in and the shootout took place after 5 a.m. in the morning, or he said specifically it was 5:08 a.m. So where's the audio from after 3 a.m., from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., the audio from where the actual shootout took place? There's no audio from what I gather, and it seems like they were, just missing a chunk from 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. But if the shootout actually took place at 5:08 a.m., where is the police audio transmission from that time period, from when the shooting actually took place? It doesn't make any sense. He also has a YouTube channel, and I'll put the link for that in the video description as well. And this is the video that you just seen part of in the CNN propaganda piece, which has almost 13,000 views. I haven't updated it, but you can check that out as well. I'm not going to play any of that. Also, the Ecstasis points out no police radio traffic on this officer. Just some interesting things. And then something else I wanted to point out here too. We've got, of course, the GoFundMe page already. Let's refresh this. Okay, it hasn't really went up, but there's always the GoFundMe there, but that's not it. Let's see, what is the David Ward? Okay, David Ward, his name, it's kind of tying this all into the Oregon situation too, because remember we had Sheriff David Ward. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, I don't believe in coincidence. You've got this whole big event that happened, and you've got Sheriff David Ward, and then now you've got this Pulse shooting, and you've got another David Ward. They've tied it into the Boston bombing. They always tend to tie it into so many different things, and I thought that was interesting. Anyway, sorry if this was a really crappy video. I'm really new to this. I'm kind of a little nervous, so I might be rambling a little bit. You'll have to forgive me. But I just wanted to point out a couple things I noticed, and especially with the talking about the automatic weapon, because a lot of you probably know, you hear Hillary and even Bernie Sanders talk a lot about that you can just go buy automatic weapons. And you know, anyone that knows anything about guns knows that you cannot buy automatic weapons in the United States. You cannot just walk into any store and buy an automatic weapon. You haven't been able to do that for what, 80 something years? I mean, it's been a long time. And it just seems like that's the propaganda that they're pushing, because of course, you know, what's the biggest thing that they're trying to do out of this, or get out of this, is fear. They want people scared. They want people scared of these assault weapons, these AR-15s, and they want everyone thinking that these are automatic weapons that people can just go buy and go out and shoot at an extremely high rate of fire and kill a ton of people. They can shoot 50 to 60 rounds and kill 49 or 50 people and injure another 53 people with a semi-automatic weapon that you get one bullet per trigger pull. So you can only fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, plus you have to change out your rounds. So you have probably with an AR-15 you're going to have a 30 round mag. So he would have to change out his magazines, which is fine. That's possible, but it just, the automatic weapon thing, it seems to be the biggest propaganda that they're pushing, which is going to help them in the long run if they're going for an assault weapons ban, if they have people thinking that these are in fact automatic weapons, and we know they're not, but a lot of people don't. So anyway, sorry I was rambling. I just wanted to point that out, and I'm just going to upload this and stop trying to keep recording videos because I don't like the way they come out. I'm just gonna do it and get it over with. Thanks for listening, and have a good day.